Hey everybody, it's Matt DeWolf, Editor-in-Chief of Car Wash Magazine. We are here live in person in Burnsville, Minnesota today. We've got Jessica Zazworsky, who owns and operates the Bubble Barn Car Wash, and she's going to share a little bit of her story with us. Jessica, thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Matt.
So it's freezing here.
It is. That's March in Minnesota.
Yeah, welcome to Minnesota. You know, I know that you moved here, a little more than a decade ago. I moved here a little bit more than a decade ago, but we're still here.
I know. What were we thinking? It grows on you, though, right?
Yeah, the summers are beautiful, they say. Yeah, that's how it goes.
And you get to experience all four seasons.
Yes. Well, here's the good news, right? Like, this is great for washing.
It is. We have been having a great start to 2022. It's been really exciting. And, fortunately, every snowstorm we've had has happened overnight. Get everyone's cars dirty and then come wash in the morning.
Yeah, lay that salt down, get them nice and dirty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Love it. Well, okay, but you were not always a car washer.
I was not. No, I spent the majority of my career up until now in corporate marketing, working at, various companies.
Okay.
And, really wanted to go out on my own. I come from a family of small business owners, and when I was, first starting out my career, I thought, working for a big company is great. I get a paycheck every 2 weeks, company-sponsored healthcare, all this great stuff. But, as I got a little bit older, I think I realized that I had that entrepreneurial spirit and really wanted to, grow my own business and also be part of the community in a way that I think only small business owners really can be.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit, because I think that that's super fascinating. And we had talked about this a little bit, you and I off camera. What's it been like for you coming into this industry, coming from that kind of corporate America background? Like, what's that been like for you?
It's certainly an adjustment, and anyone who's done it, I'm sure would say the same thing. But for me, I'm glad I have that experience, right? It's given me a strong background in how to look at my business, and I'm a very analytical person. So, understanding how to use the ICA, my Chamber of Commerce, other business owners, other people in my community for resources, and to help me make informed decisions has been something that's been really important to me as I've kind of started on this venture.
Yeah, because when you're starting into this industry and you're starting into the business, you're all by yourself. You don't have
it's
a team,
just you,
right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, we've got great traffic going through today. I want to talk a little bit about this specific location, then I want to come back to a little bit more of your corporate background, because I think that there's something folks will be really interested to hear about there. So this specific location, talk to us about the area we're in, how you kind of picked this spot.
Yeah, so we're located in Burnsville, Minnesota, and when I started out searching for a site, I obviously had traffic counts and demographics in mind, but I didn't really have a vision for where I wanted to be in the metro. And actually, through a mutual friend, I found a broker that had this spot, and he said, I think it'd be perfect for a car wash, and he was right. Yeah. But we don't have a ton of express washes in Minnesota, I think in comparison to other areas, and certainly in the South Metro of the Twin Cities where we are, there really aren't any others. There's more coming, but right now it's we're kind of the only game in town, and it's been really interesting trying to educate people coming through. Some are familiar, they've lived other places, and they kind of know what the deal is, but others don't understand. You're going to stay in your car,
right.
A lot of times I get questions, well, if I get this wash, how long is it going to take for me to go through? I'm like, they all take the same the same amount of time. And so kind of helping people understand, like, we're just going to do the outside, the vacuums, they're awesome, they're self-serve for you to use, and making sure that we spend time interacting with those customers so that they get the full experience and they leave happy.
Yeah, I think what's really important to remember, and we talk about this a lot, is like we got to make sure that we remember that while we are around this industry a lot, not everybody is. And so while we might feel like, hey, everybody knows what an express exterior car wash is, it's been around forever, customers don't know.
Right.
And so talk to me a little bit about, maybe give me like one or two things that's been really helpful for you as you educate those customers on what this is like and what this thing is.
Well, people ask me, okay, why is this, better than what I'm going to get at Holiday, right? And I always talk to them about, we have the latest and greatest technology, closed cell foam brushes that are going to be, super gentle in your car. We have a belt. It's easier to get on and off the track, versus a traditional system. And those vacuums, I think I totally underestimated how much people will love the vacuums. And, we see that in our reviews, that people say, their vacuums are amazing. And so, we let them spend as much time as they want out there. And, especially you got a beautiful summer day in Minnesota, and, you get people out there, just getting every nook and cranny clean. So that's been a big selling point for customers as well.
So okay. So what I heard you say, Jessica, was that it's really important that your vacuums suck.
And that's what my staff hears me say too.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, so you hit on another piece about this specific location I want to talk about, the belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not only is it an express location in an area where there's not a lot of expresses, but it's a belt versus the conveyor chain that maybe they're used to at some of the washes they might go through. Talk about the belt, what that does for you, what that does for your customers.
Well, to be honest, when I started building this site, I feel like belt technology was kind of just coming out as the latest and greatest thing. And so, there's a decision to kind of go one direction or the other. And I decided that, we were going to be new for only so long, and there were going to be other people coming into the market. And so let's invest now. In particular, I have a friend who's a very nervous driver, and I thought about her and how I've been through car washes with her and how nervous she was. And I'm like, if my friend Heather can get through this, like, I think we would be okay. And she came down on our opening day, and she's like, oh, that was really easy. I'm like, I made the right decision. But, I think it's really reassuring to customers. And, I know as someone who's, washed my car in a traditional rail and chain system myself, like you feel nervous about fitting your car, wheels in there. So I think it's just a lot easier for customers to use. And then a benefit, that we talked about earlier was we can wash dually trucks, and we're the only express wash in the area right now that can do that. And once the first one found out, then they told all of their dually friends to come on by the Bubble Barn and wash, which has been great for us. And in the summertime, we get lots of cool sports cars in here because we can watch the really low riding vehicles as well. So they love to come through. So it's it's fun to see all those different types of cars.
Yeah, the magic network of dually owners.
Exactly.
Who knew?
Who knew? It's out there, people.
Well, the other thing that I think is cool, and we've got footage of this, is that you can wash tow trucks.
Yes, we can.
So tell me about this tow truck. How did that even come to be?
Well, and you were asking me, was I nervous? The first time he came through, and he's paying for the wash, and I went running out, and I'm like, have you washed here before? And he's like, yeah. And my manager came out, and he's like, oh yeah, we wash them all the time. You just got to turn off the top brushes, and he's got to lower the boom. And I'm like, this is making me really uncomfortable.
Here's my investment in my future, and it's all going to come crashing down.
And I stood there in the tunnel and just kind of watched it go through. My heart was in my chest. But he's got a couple trucks that he comes through all the time, and it's super cool. First of all, to support other local business owners and kind of get to interact with them in that way. But it's also fun just to wash cool vehicles that other other washes can't, because they don't have the right type of system for that. Yeah. The belts do really open up some things for you. They do.
So let's talk about something else inside this tunnel, which is your digital signs. So we've got some behind me here, and then we've got some inside the tunnel. Tell me about that. Love it or hate it?
Outside, I love it.
Okay.
I think that having the sign, we have a video running, so it's kind of constantly moving. I think it catches the customer's eyes, allows them to kind of really look at and engage with what wash they want to choose, and they're a little bit more knowledgeable even before we come out and greet them and talk to them about the washes. Especially we're a new business, so they're not familiar with our wash packages. But inside the tunnel, not so much. I think I don't notice it, and I obviously wash my car, here all the time. But, you're in the tunnle. You got the attendant there telling you what to do. You're trying to put it in neutral. You're trying to make sure you're straight on the belt. You're probably also looking at your phone while you're doing this. So I just don't feel like I notice the video screen. And then when I'm working here, we have a video that runs through, put it in neutral, turn off your wipers, hands off the wheel, all sorts of things. I feel like by the time a customer is having, we realize they're having trouble putting it in neutral, or they're not sure what to do, the video's already played through, and then we're pulling out the hand sign, or we're stopping the belt and having them roll down the window. And I think some of that could be eliminated if we had a more traditional arch sign that we could just motion to it, and they could see that in their own time. Yeah,
I think that's fascinating, because I think that the intent of the digital signs is great, right? But the execution of the thing, and the reality of whether or not I, as a human being, can follow those instructions at the exact time that I'm going to follow them is not very good.
Yes.
Maybe someday. Someday. But what I really like is having the people there, because I think that as a human being, right? You notice when somebody's moving their arms, they're telling you what to do, they're pointing. You notice that. But when it's all flat and it's all just distraction, you're going to miss it, I think. Okay, so let's talk I don't hate digital signs, by the way, friends. Digital signs are fun. I think that we've got some room to educate the customers on it. I think it is going to be the problem. And especially when you've got a new Express in a market where there aren't Expresses, there's a lot to educate
There's
on.
a lot going on.
Yeah, let's just do one thing at a time. Okay, so we talked about that. We talked about the ability for the belts to kind of open it up for you. I want to come back to kind of corporate experience and coming into this industry. When you started pulling all the pieces together to get into this space, and you started networking with other car wash owners and operators and folks on the vendor supplier side, what did you think? Did you feel like it was like a good community to be part of? Where do you stand there?
I mean, I think the car wash community is amazing, and they've been amazing to me. Everyone was willing to spend a little bit of time talking to me, and I just, so much generosity exists out there between, vendors and other operators, and you're starting on the business, like you don't know anything, and you're asking questions that I think back and I'm like, man, I was dumb. But everyone was patient with me and excited about my part in the journey and where I was, and talk to me about how fun it was, and let me know how you're doing. And those are relationships that I've been able to cultivate and grow through the time that I've been in operation. And then I have new operators coming to me asking me those same questions, and I always, because everyone's so generous to me, feel very strongly about paying it forward, like come down and see the operation, or like let's spend some time talking on the phone and I'll give you my thoughts.
Yeah, I think it really is special, and I don't think you see it in many other industries like that. But it makes all the difference in the world in terms of being able to bring people like you into the industry, for people who are in the industry to get great and innovative ideas and to keep us going forward. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. So then, Jessica, because you teed me up so nicely for this, I like to ask people, what's one thing I can do today to be better tomorrow? So I'm going to ramble for like 2 seconds so you can think about that and what you want to say. But if you're maybe a new car wash owner, operator, maybe you've been in the industry for a while, in your first couple of years here, what have you learned? What's one thing that I can do today to be better tomorrow?
I think it all comes down to your customers, right? If you don't have your customers, you don't have a business. And so for me, we opened in February 2020. It was a very challenging time. We didn't have as much volume coming here year one that I thought we would, because everyone was at home. And so I spent that time when we had lower volume out there in the vacuum lot, out here at the pay stations, getting to know my customers. And I don't think it's unique to the South Metro, although I think we've got the best customers ever. People want to, see a local business succeed. They want to know that, the owner or the manager is out there and they care about the business. They want to be able to put, a face on the business and have that personal touch. And so that's been a real gift to me, is to, spend time at the wash and know the folks that are coming through and know a little bit about their story that I can connect with them. Yeah,
I love that. Because at the end of the day, if I'm a customer in this market, I want that to be my wash.
Exactly. And that's what we're striving for.
I love that. Well, friends, if you're watching, thank you so much to Jessica for taking the time to share a little bit of your story with us. We're going to give you guys a tour. We're going to maybe do some beautiful drone footage of this location and show you some of the wash process. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Matt.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight. We wanna go, go. We wanna go, go. We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight. We wanna go, go. We wanna go, go. We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight.